good behavior. These are part of leadership. So it can be done. We have all the talents and everything all over the world. It's a question of the leadership has to show it. You have to start by saying, my name is Peter Obi. I'm from this town. I went to this primary school, this secondary school, this university, and people come. They're very important. You know, when Chika was saying my CV, he said Harvard. I said, no, Chika, I did a program in Harvard. I'm an alumnus of Oxford and Cambridge. It can go and be verified.
Verified.
I don't need to put injunction for you not to see it. Go and tell them in Nsukka whether they'll give you my transcript. These are things we must. And we must do it and say, this is who we are. Because that's what makes us. Nobody said you must be anything. No. We have had leaders all over the world that didn't go to school. Just say, this is who I am. These are my parents. These are my students. You know? So, we will do that.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election that was held on February 25, 2026. And the result controversially announced on March 1st, 2023. And that controversial result was challenged at the Presidential Election Petition Court that delivered its verdict on September 6th, 2023. And the petitioners, not satisfied, have gone to the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land, that will finally determine who actually won the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. Now, while the attention of Nigerians are in the courts, in the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the attention are also at the court in America, the United States, where Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, has gone to court to obtain proof of his allegation that the certificate, Chicago State University certificate, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission, that they were forged. And he hoped to get this proof from the Chicago State University so that he can be able to submit it to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, so that the Supreme Court, based on that evidence, will invoke Section 137, 1J of the 1999 Constitution to have Tinubu's election nullified and his purported votes in the election rendered useless. Now, while this is on, a whole lot of things are happening. But one of the major contenders in the race, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, he has not said anything about this ongoing brouhaha about Tinubu's certificate. But he had an opportunity to say something about it recently. And what he said has generated a lot of buzz, both online and offline in Nigeria. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because we want to look at Peter Obi's response to the certificate saga of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, in the light of the ongoing scrutiny of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's academic records, Peter Obi at Princeton University in the United States, where he was a keynote speaker, emphasized the importance of political office holders possessing genuine credentials and a clear identity. Speaking at the Chinua Achebe Symposium at Princeton University in the United States, Obi called for a shift towards a Nigeria led by individuals characterized by competence and a resolute commitment to combating corruption. Of course, you and I know that nobody talks about corruption again since Buhari left. Even though Buhari himself, despite all the noises he made about corruption, war against corruption, his government was adjudged one of the most corrupt in recent history. Anybody who is in doubt should go and check the record of Transparency International on Nigeria. Throughout the 8 years that Buhari was in charge, Nigeria was ranked among the most corrupt countries in the world throughout his administration, despite the fact that that administration claimed that Buhari was a corruption champion in Africa. But the records by the Transparency International proves otherwise. In fact, that the record shows that his administration was characterized by corruption. Okay, but the fact remains that the government of Tinubu don't make any pretense that they are fighting corruption. Okay, but Peter Obi is saying that corruption ought to be a major issue in Nigeria, and I totally agree with him, and most Nigerians would agree with him. Most development scholars would agree with him. Most international partners of Nigeria would agree with him, because corruption is at the center of the economic quagmire that the country is in right now. So now let's continue to look at Peter Obi's intervention. Obi stressed the necessity for leaders in Africa's largest economy to be dedicated to upholding the rule of law. Now let me quote him. He said, "We must have leadership that is committed to the rule of law, that has an identity and credentials that can be verified. We can start thinking of a new Nigeria with competence and capacity that is committed to fighting corruption." And he asked rhetorically, is it possible to fight corruption? He said the answer is yes. The trouble with Nigeria is self-inflicted. If Achebe was alive, he would have taken back the book. When he wrote it, there were no trouble. Now there is real trouble in Nigeria. Rascality has become a measure of success in Nigeria. That must change, he asserted. Now, you can see that Peter Obi had talked about the issue of character in leadership. And that has also to do with the issue going on in America, where Atiku Abubakar want to get the academic documents of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu went and stopped his document from being released, his academic records from being released. Ordinarily, in a society that has regard for integrity, they wouldn't accept that kind of leadership. But you can see a lot of people who tell you all kinds of reasons to defend that behavior. Okay, they can justify it with every excuse under the sun. But it will not be acceptable. No decent society will accept that their leader don't want his academic records to be accessible to the public. Now, continuing on that same level, from the video you saw now, you saw where Peter Obi was talking about the need that when it comes to leadership, he talks about integrity in leadership. And this is what he said from what you saw in the video too. He said good behavior is a critical part of leadership. Nobody said you must be anything. We have good leaders all over the world who didn't go to university. You have to start by saying, my name is, where you come from, the primary, the secondary school. You say, these are my parents. these are my schoolmates. These things are important. For example, he said, I, Peter Obi, I am alumnus of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Oxford and Cambridge. You can go and verify it. I don't need to put an injunction for you not to obtain the transcript from University of Nigeria. That was where he mocked Tinubu there. He said that you can go and verify his credential. You can go to University of Nigeria, Nsukka. You can go to Cambridge. You can go to Oxford. That he don't have to go and put an injunction, just as Tinubu rushed and put an injunction to stop Atiku Abubakar from having access to his academic records. Okay, so that is Peter Obi using the opportunity he had at Princeton University to talk about integrity in leadership, which obviously is lacking in the present leadership, especially by the behavior they exhibited by stopping Atiku Abubakar from having access to the academic records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And one of the most serious reasons they gave was that it will cause severe and irreparable harm to Bola Ahmed Tinubu if his results are released. This is the first time anyone in history had ever used that kind of argument to talk about his academic records, that it will cause severe and irreparable harm to him. And you can imagine you are an employee, you want to be employed in an organization, and the organization wants to do background check on you to find out whether you actually passed out from the university that you claim you passed out. And then you put an injunction stopping your employers to go and verify from your university. What do you think the employer will do? Do you think he will tolerate you for any seconds to be in that organization? I can bet you no organization will tolerate that. But because the employers of Nigeria, Nigerians that are employers of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there are so many people who have become beneficiaries of the corrupt system that Nigeria had become. Because let's face the fact, Nigeria is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. And who are the people that made it so? It is both leaders and a lot of followers that made Nigeria to occupy this enviable position as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. In fact, David Cameron, former Prime Minister of Britain, he described Nigeria as a fantastically corrupt country. That's a fact. He said it. Even Buhari did not dispute him that Nigeria was a fantastically corrupt country. So people get away with all kinds of things that would be intolerable in any decent society. Okay. Now, this Princeton delivery by Peter Obi, Peter Obi announced it actually before it happened through his Twitter handle, because the Princeton event coincided with the Twitter space that Peter Obi used to have monthly with the obedience, and he reminded them about it and the importance of canceling it so that he could be able to attend to the Princeton event. And this was the tweet that Peter Obi sent out to the obedience to emphasize, to explain the reason why he will not be part of the Twitter space event. He said, "My dear obedience and fellow Nigerians, I wish to humbly and regrettably inform you that I will not participate in our bi-monthly Twitter space. That is today, 29 September, due to a scheduled, inevitable engagement. I've earlier been invited to deliver a keynote speech at the Chinua Achebe Symposium and the 10th anniversary memorial and 40th anniversary of his seminal book, The Trouble with Nigeria, at the Princeton University, New Jersey, United States. Thankfully, my speech will focus on the trouble with Nigeria as written by our internationally renowned author, Chinua Achebe, 40 years ago, and I would like everyone to be part of it. Sadly, Nigeria has continued to grapple with, and at an even more alarming rate, the very troubles written by Achebe 4 decades ago. However, we must not allow our nation to go down under the present cocktail of challenges. May I request that you all join me today as the event will be streamed live online. So Peter Obi presented an opportunity for people to participate, and actually a lot of people participated. And the video you saw was an excerpt from that engagement where he talked about character in leadership. And he talked about so many things that has gone wrong with the country. Things that Chinua Achebe talked about in the book, The Trouble with Nigeria. The things have even gotten worse today than they were at the time that Chinua Achebe was talking about the trouble with Nigeria. Now, the trouble with Nigeria has gone so bad that people celebrate impunity, people celebrate criminality, people celebrate wickedness. People can see black and call it white without care, as long as it benefits their personal interest. Nigeria has never had it so bad. So it makes it very relevant that this topic is talked about now. And you can see that Peter Obi as always was able to deliver because you cannot talk about the development of Nigeria without talking about corruption. Corruption has literally destroyed this country because anything you are doing in Nigeria and you are not fighting corruption, you have not started. That is why fighting corruption is pivotal to anything that will be successful in Nigeria. Forget about what anybody can tell you. And some people have said, oh, God can use anybody to make Nigeria great. God can use anybody. You see, what people fail to understand, you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have integrity in leadership, there's no way you can run Nigeria with integrity and fear of God. You cannot. But you see someone like Peter Obi, who has exemplified integrity in leadership. That's why he was the only presidential candidate that could boldly talk about war against corruption. And people will listen because he has lived it. He has exemplified it. He had been in a position to enrich himself, but he didn't. He has hold positions of trust, and he ran it with integrity, with impeccable record of transparency and accountability, which is what Nigeria needs right now. You can see how the country's economy is almost in tatters. The economy is in dire straits. Right now, the naira to the dollar is 1,000 naira to the dollar, and it's still going up, and it may continue to go up. That is the truth. It may continue to go up. This is because Bloomberg had even done a report. You know Bloomberg of United States, one of the major financial media organizations in the world. Bloomberg has said that before Nigerian naira can stabilize, it has to get to 1,500 naira to the dollar, unless there's a dramatic shift in foreign exchange earning by Nigeria, which is not likely to happen because already our major export is oil. We are not even exporting enough. we are still having challenges. So you can therefore imagine what that means. So that is why you can see that the country is in dire straits. The country is really in dire straits. But this problem cannot be solved without fighting corruption. That's why Obi's emphasis on corruption should be looked into by everyone, and it should be the target of anyone that think this economy can be saved. The person must fight corruption. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.